Well, hello, Coffee Time friends. How y'all doing this evening? Folks, I'm going to tell you, it's officially fall. I know the calendar don't say that, but when it goes to the bird months, we're in the fall. I am falled up. I'm ready. I am getting ready to make some soup. Good old-fashioned vegetable soup. And I'm just making purely vegetable, too. I'm not putting any meat of any kind in it. I just want some good vegetable soup. I'm getting ready to cut up some potatoes. And I'm going to peel these carrots. And I'm going to even put some celery in it. We don't normally put that, but for some reason I'm thinking that's what I want. There's a little bit of celery in it. So I'm going to stick me some celery. I'm going to cut these potatoes up and I'm going to peel them good. Put them in this water. And I'm taking somebody's advice out there. One of y'all told me the last time I made soup, said, John, make your potatoes in a separate pot. Your soup will won't get thick. And that's what I like. I like good, juicy, rich tomato soup. So I'm going to do exactly what y'all said. And I'm going to fix these potatoes in their own little pot. I'm going to cook them about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to add them to I'm going to rinse them. Rinse them good. Get all that starch off from them. And then I'm going to put them in the pot with the rest of the soup. And this soup is going to have a combination of both homegrown vegetables and store-bought vegetables. I might even put some frozen vegetables. Let me tell y'all down here. I don't know. I'm just feeling real creative with the soup. And I'm ready for pumpkin. I'm ready. I know some of y'all are going to mourn to see summer leave. And I am going to miss it. I love the garden stuff, the fresh garden vegetables. There's a lot of things about summer that I really do enjoy. But I'm ready to move on to the next season. Now, I'll be, when January, February gets here, after the holidays have passed and everything's settled back down, I'll have me a good old-fashioned dose of spring fever. And I'll probably be on here saying, I can't wait till spring. I can't wait to see them yellow March bells. And because when I see them little yellow March bells, I know it won't be long we'll be planting tomatoes. Forsythia, Mama said. And so I'm ready for it. Always. But I'm always ready for the next season, it seems like. But I don't hate any season. A lot of people don't like winter. It is cold. But I love the trees. I love it when all the leaves fall off the trees and you have the beautiful trees up against the brilliant, bright blue skies. In the fall, have you ever noticed how the skies are so beautiful and blue? And the white cloud, this fall has the most vibrant blue skies. And it's one of my favorite things. When you talk about fall colors, we usually are referring to the trees. But for me, I'm also thinking about them blue skies because I love the way the sky looks in the fall. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm ready to switch seasons. It's time. I seen today, went through the park and I seen they done got mums out. And I seen where stores are getting mums in. And I'm thinking, I'm ready for mums too. Me and Mama, we'll probably have to take us a little trip somewhere and find us up a couple of mums to put out front. We like them big old yellow ones. We like them white ones. Them orange ones sometimes. I think my favorite mums, though, are the yellow and the white. Mama's over here washing dishes. Mama, what are you washing?
Some dishes.
Her lunch dishes.
Am I making too much noise?
Why, Lord, no, Mama, you ain't making no noise at all. We hardly couldn't even hear you.
Sure, you couldn't.
Could y'all hear Mama? Yeah, we hear you a little bit, Mama. That's okay. Because you know what? That's just the sounds that the kitchen makes. That's just sounds that goes on. Now, if I was doing mashed potatoes, I'd want to cut this potato up really little squares and do all that. But this is going to be soup. So I'm not going to cut it as little as I would for mashed potatoes. I want them to be bite-sized, but I don't want them little bitty squares. So I'm just going to quarter some of these slices, and I'm going to quarter them about that big right there. And this has got a spot. It's got to come out. And see, that little brown spot there was hiding in the center. There's not a brown spot nowhere except way down there in the center of that. But I want them chunky enough that I know I'm eating some potatoes in the soup. So I'm just going to cut these up in quarters. And you can do more than one slice. Let me see if I can do that big of slices. I believe I can. Make 2 cuts instead of 8. And check for them little brown spots. But someone told me last year, I guess, when I done it, I don't know. I was talking about, the next day the soup gets a little thick. And I don't like it as good when it's thick. Yeah, that was a good brown spot. And somebody said if you'll cook your potatoes separate, then it won't build that starch up in there. So we're going to give that a try. I'm always willing to learn. I always want to know new things. Mama does too. I said, Mama, have you ever done your potatoes separate? And she said, no, I never have. And she said, I just always, if it gets thick, I add a little bit of tomato juice or something. But I'm going to try this, see how we like it. We may love it because Mama can tell you, I love soupy soup beans, or pinto beans as most people call them. But around here we call them soup beans or pinto beans. But most times soup beans, we know what that is. And I like soupy soup beans on them, Mama.
Oh, yes.
Come over here, Mama, let them see you. Mama's, she ain't, you're all prettied up.
Oh, no.
You shy?
I'm not prettied up, you see.
Are you being shy, Mama?
Yeah, I'm just shy.
All right, when did you get shy? Today?
Well, I've got this sweater on. They'll probably be laughing at me, but I'm cold still.
Mama, I didn't tell them you bundled up in August, and this is September, but you bundled up in August.
I'll bundle up in July, too.
And no, I've not got the air conditioner on 0. Don't be saying you're freezing your mama to this, because I don't mess with her air conditioner. I never do. She's got on whatever she wants it on, don't you, Mama?
I keep it cool for you.
72.
No, it's
73.
71, I think now.
Mama would disagree with me. If I say it's one, she'll tell it different. I'll say 72. No, I think it's 71. She says.
Well, I turned it down for you.
It's on 72 or 3. I guarantee it. It always is.
Let me go look and verify it.
Now, Mama, you know.
No, it's not that hot.
Not that hot.
Mm-mm.
She says that stuff. I don't believe it. But I don't mess with her AC because I know she's cold. I don't want her to be cold. I'd rather be hot as her cold. But I still don't want it on 80 in August. Do we, Mama?
No.
Mama gets hot sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I do get hot, but not often.
And she'll say, oh, it's hot. I said, welcome to my world, Mama. That's where I live all the time. But I'm going to do these few little potatoes. I ain't going to keep y'all on here the whole time. I'm going to prep some celery. I'm going to try a little celery at this time, too. And I'm not using V8 juice or any of that stuff. Just simply homegrown tomato juice. Might use a can of store-bought.
Yeah, I've got you.
Okay. And some store-bought tomatoes. But we're going to use some homegrown, too. For that extra little bit of sunshine flavor. That's what you get out of a homegrown tomato, I've decided. Is just a little taste of pure sunshine. And it's so good. And a lot of store-bought tomatoes don't see the sun. They're grown in hothouses and other environments. But when you do a homegrown, it's pure sunshine you're getting. And it tastes so good. So we are going to finish these chores here up on this chore board. And we're going to get them in a kettle. I'm putting these potatoes on separate. And then we're going to get the rest of that in a kettle. And we're going to get to cooking us up some soup. And this is going to be a multi-meal. And by multi-meal, I mean it's going to be probably supper here in about 30 minutes. And then it's probably going to be lunch tomorrow. And then it might even be supper or lunch the next day because I love good soup. And this is, like a lot of other things, this is the first good pot of soup of the season. Ain't it, Mom?
Yeah, I've not made it.
And Mama makes soup too. I'm not the only soup maker, but I make it just like she does.
You talked about just wanting a certain way, so I didn't fix it. I let you do it. celery and all that different stuff in it.
Mama says, Mama don't do it. Mama says, if you're going to do it that way, you do it yourself.
That's right.
No, I told her she was going to make it earlier today, what she's talking about. She's going to make it earlier, and I said, well, Mama, if you'll wait, we'll film it tonight because I want to show them that I'm doing them potatoes a different way and see if it makes a difference. And I'll let you know tomorrow if it thickens my soup, which it shouldn't. I trust whoever said that. It's a good idea. Because, it just makes sense. Because when you boil them potatoes, they're going to be starchy. And that does thicken that soup up a little bit. And this way, it won't have opportunity to thicken it because if you cook them and then you rinse them, you're going to rinse a lot of that starch out of there. And then you're just going to have good, juicy soup. And look here. That's a beautiful... That's as pretty a picture as you'll ever see is that big old jar of tomatoes. These are marked 9/20/20. These are from last year. 1 year old. Those tomatoes, it's in there, have been in there for a year. And look how beautiful they are. They're as good as the day we put them in there. It's amazing to me how a perishable vegetable like that, just by putting it in a jar and going through the process of canning it, can keep it from 9/20 to 9/21 and still be delicious. So let's take a little pause here and we'll come back and I'll show you where we are on the next process. Well, I am chopping up these carrots. Now I just peeled them with a peeler and I'm just chopping them up, but I want these carrots to be a lot of times I'll slice them long ways and then just do half. I want some good carrots. I want to see that carrot. I want a good chunk of carrots, just like the potatoes. So I am just cutting these, whatever size they are, just in circles. And I'm cutting them about 1/8 of an inch thick. I want them all to be about the same thickness. And I've done the same thing with 3 ribs of celery here. Mama don't normally put celery in hers. We use a little celery salt or celery seed sometime in it. But I thought, I want celery. I'm still on my Thanksgiving dinner in August that I didn't get, but I'm going to have it maybe in September. I'm wanting to smell that sage and that onions cooking. I can't wait till November for that. But I am gonna get a turkey breast and make some dressing, and I don't know when we're gonna do that, but I can feel it coming on. So maybe that's the reason I'm wanting celery in my soup. But for some reason, I'm just craving a big old bowl of good homemade vegetable soup. Love it. And we'll have it in the winter, and it's good on a cold night to come in and have some good vegetable soup. And it's certainly not cold outside today, but it's 65, which is a lot cooler than it has been around here. And I'm just in the mood for this good old comfort southern food. And there it is. Now look how pretty celery and carrots can look. And I'm going to put those in there. The potatoes have been boiling for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So I'm going to see if they're fork tender yet. And then I'm going to put this jar of tomato juice. I'm going to put this can, which is a 14.5 can of whole tomatoes. And we'll just let them kind of mash up. And I'm going to put 2 of those in there. And I'm going to put a can of Mama's homegrown sunshine tomatoes. And that will change the flavor of it all. And that will be so good. Then I'm going to put a can of corn, whole kernel corn, and a can of peas. Or maybe some frozen peas. Or something like that. But Mama's saying something in there. I think she just couldn't find no frozen peas. Frozen peas are good in it, but canned peas are good in it too. Just canned. I think some people call them English peas or sweet peas. Right out of the can. So it's just a mixture of different flavors. But it's going to be so good just to have a good hot bowl of soup. And then tomorrow we'll have some for lunch. Or just a snack or maybe for supper. And I'm not going to tonight. But I'll make some cornbread tomorrow. And have soup and cornbread. That's some good eating stew right there. Well, I'm going to chop up this big old yellow onion. And I want a good one. I want a good big one. I want plenty of onion. I am going to put a little beef bouillon in this with the carrots and the celery. As I'm letting them boil over here, I'm going to put me a spoonful of beef bouillon in there. I'll use that better. What's that called, Mama? Better than bouillon.
Yeah.
Better than bouillon, the beef, and you can use cubes or whatever you want to do, or you don't even have to put any kind of beef in there. And it's going to have some salt in it, and it'll just help to give you some seasoning.
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, and salt and pepper is what we're going to put in there, and beef bouillon, and that's going to be our seasoning for tonight. But I want these onions, like the other vegetables, I want to be able to taste them. So I'm not going to cut them up and not putting them through the power chopper because I just want them kind of big. I'm not going to chop them really. I'm just going to kind of, I want them to have some bigness to them. When I look in there, I want to see these. I like different things. Sometimes I want my onions to fine and something that you can't see them. Not because I don't like onions, just because that's what that dish calls for. Other times I think, I want a big old chunky onion. And sometimes if I'm eating an onion sandwich, I just want onion and salad dressing or mayonnaise with a little black pepper. I know we do crazy things here in the South sometimes. And an onion sandwich is a real thing. And we do eat them. My daddy sure would have eaten them. He loved onions, and he did eat them. He liked onions and pinto beans, didn't he, Mama?
Oh, yeah.
We eat onions with about everything.
Onions on his bologna sandwich.
Onions on bologna sandwiches. That's another summertime treat, is to get a good homegrown tomato with a good piece of bologna and a good... I just dropped an onion in the floor. Maggie will get that, and we'll have to give her a cert. Tic Tac.
Cutting board.
You gonna put the kettle?
Mm-hmm. So
Maggie will have to eat a Tic Tac if she gets hold of that onion. Because let me tell you something. That little schnauzer will eat that onion. She might not eat two of them, but she'll grab that first one. She don't taste a lot of stuff she eats, bless her heart. But she'll eat that onion if she comes in here and sees it in the floor. She's like a little vacuum cleaner. A little gray vacuum cleaner. Anything that gets dropped, she feels it's her duty to pick it up and eat it. And she does it. I say she's a wonderful housekeeper. She does a great job. Don't she, Mama?
She does. I'll holler like they do on commercials. Clean up on aisle 4 sometimes.
Yeah. Maggie knows what that means, too. She'll come running. In fact, I hear her little toenails in here now. She probably hears us saying her name. Look at all that beautiful, beautiful onion. Folks, I got to tell you, I mentioned the other day that Mama had around cinnamon, and I did get her some cinnamon. But one of y'all, we don't have a name to go with these, but somebody sent 2 of these organic cinnamons. And I am just so, I said, oh my goodness, Mama, that is so kind of somebody to do that. And they're good through 24, so we'll probably use every drop of it. Because now we like cinnamon in our oatmeal. We like cinnamon on toast. We love cinnamon toast. A little bit of sugar, a little bit of cinnamon. A little bit of butter, a little bit of cinnamon rolls. Probably, I would say Mama will use one of these before Christmas. Because we'll have monkey bread. She puts cinnamon in her banana bread. And what is that one banana bread you make? It's bananas and craisins and nuts and pineapples.
I've tried out with everything on it.
She makes all kinds of good things. Thank y'all so much. Whoever sent those, comment below so we can say thank you. It came in. It smells wonderful. I think this may spoil Mama. I may have to buy that organic cinnamon for her all the time because she's already saying, this smells so good. And I said, yeah, that's some good cinnamon. So whoever did that, thank you so much. Mama thanks you, and I thank you. And it was just so kind of you. Y'all are always so kind to us. And we don't expect it, but we sure do appreciate everything you do. And it's just like family. You know, that's the way family works. If one needs something, come over and get it. We got some, you got some. That's what it should be. That's what we need more in the world is, that nice, kind, nature people. Somebody left some vanilla from Mexico on the steps of the porch, on the church porch. And I went into church last night, and they said, you got a gift? And I said, what'd you get me? They said, we didn't get you nothing. Somebody left it on the porch. So whoever did that, thank you too. I got a letter from you. Note.
Was it?
Mama can tell you that one. But that was so kind. I was so surprised. And we love good vanillas and all that good stuff too.
I think it's
I told Mama, I said, Mama.
Cindy, just like I said.
Cindy?
From
Missouri. So, Cindy, I hope you didn't come all the way from Missouri. I hope you was going somewhere.
And that's what a pretty card.
Exactly. Look what a beautiful coffee. Thank you, Miss Cindy. We appreciate that. I told Mama, I said, Mama, it seems to me like if you're getting cinnamon and vanilla, I think it's time to start making some good holiday treats. So, Mama is ready to start that anytime it's Mama.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You know, folks, I have said this for years, and I say it at church every year, and they just look at me like I'm crazy, or maybe I have two heads. On 5th of July, I say it's time to put up the tree, because I'm telling you, it goes that quickly. Something happens, and I don't know what it is, but 4th of July, you got summertime, you got fireworks, you got watermelon, you got all the good traditional, good Southern things that go along with 4th of July, and on the 5th of July, you bet your eyes, and it is time to put up the tree. It is less than 4 months to Christmas. Less than 4 months. It's just amazing to me how quickly time flies. And you don't even get a chance hardly to take a breath until it's time to go back to school. Kids are going back to school, and then as soon as they get back in school, that's two things I've dropped. Maggie will not eat that lid. I'll get that. Mama, don't you go up here and file. I'll get that in a second. But you get back to school, and then in 2 minutes you bat your eyes and all the holidays begin. And once they begin, it's on. And it's time for all the holidays to come rolling through. So it's a good time. It's an exciting time. I know the COVID is out there, and I know it's real, and I'm not encouraging people to do anything. But let's enjoy it, even if we have to enjoy it on FaceTime or calling on the phone to family. Let's get together with family one way or another. We can call. There's no danger in that I've heard. We can do FaceTime. You can set up a Zoom call with your family at Thanksgiving if you can't be with them. Now, I don't know that we won't be able to be together at Thanksgiving. I sure hope we can. But let's make it special no matter what we have to do. Let's be thankful no matter what we have to do. And if we have to call and we have to still stay separate, let's still make it special. Let's make it count. And let's still make it to where we can enjoy one another. Because that's what it's all about. Making memories and being with family. So, I'm opening these cans up. The sweet peas, the tomatoes. I'm going to open this a can of whole kernel corn. And when we come back, we'll get over here to this pot and we'll see what's cooking. And it won't be long, we'll be eating. Because them potatoes are already done. And I've got them in the drainer over there. I rinsed them and done just like you told me. I cooked them and I rinsed them good. And I've got them sitting over there and I'm going to add them in at the very end because they're done. And we'll show you the rest of it in just 2 seconds. All right, Mama. What do you think?
Pretty good. Looks really good.
Look at the soup. Now, I'm going to... Let's see, look there. Oh. We put... How much macaroni did you put in there, Mama?
Oh, about a third of a box. Pound box.
A third of a pound. Mama said she tasted it. And I'm going to totally put all my trust in Mama, as usual. And she says it needs a little salt and a little pepper. So how much salt?
Just a little salt and quite a bit
Half
of
a
pepper.
teaspoon?
That's a heaping up teaspoon.
Well, a teaspoon?
Not that much. You might want it, but I don't want that much.
We put the Better Than Bouillon beef in it. And this is coarse ground black pepper. And that looks like a lot, but we're going to stir it all up to the bottom. So we put a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper, and a tablespoon, a big serving tablespoon, just almost full, of the Better Than Bouillon beef.
And it's salty.
Where's it at? And I'll show them what we put in.
I think I put it in the refrigerator.
So in this pot, we have got a can of peas, English peas, a can of whole kernel corn, a big yellow onion. I put about 5 whole carrots, peeled them and chopped them up. I cut up about 6 potatoes, cooked them separately, and put 2 cans of whole tomatoes, a can, this was from the store, those tomatoes, and a can of tomato juice, a large can from the store, and a can of Mama's homegrown sunshine tomatoes. And then we put 1 tablespoon. If you want to use an actual tablespoon, I would put 2 tablespoons of better than bouillon, and this is the beef flavor. Or I would put 2 bouillon cubes, whatever you want to use. I did what y'all told me, and I used the potatoes, cooked them separate, and rinsed them. And I can tell the difference. It's look how pretty they are, and it's not thickened at all. But sometimes it's the next day before it gets thickened. And the macaroni, we rinsed it as well. We've always put macaroni in our soup. Do you all? Some people.
That's the way I was raised on it. You was.
It's the reason I always have. Now my daddy, he wanted pork and beans put in it, and don't do it on our recommendation because me and Mama don't like it. And he would always say, "You didn't put no pork and beans." So Mama would make this pot like this. She'd dip out another pot over here, and she'd put a can of pork and beans in it for Daddy, and he loved it, and he thought it was wonderful.
Because that's what he was raised on.
Because that's what Granny done it. And but it don't taste good. I don't like it. It gives it a
pork and bean taste.
I love pork and beans, but I don't want it in my soup.
It just ain't good.
So this probably is not a vegetarian soup because of the beef bouillon, but
you can leave it out.
You can leave that out, and you could just substitute with more salt, more pepper, and not have the beef at all, and it would be a good pot of soup for if you don't want any beef in it, but a little beef flavor. We didn't put any chunks of meat or anything like that because I just wanted some good vegetable soup. And I told Mama a while ago, I said, I ate a raw carrot or 2, and I tasted this soup once, and now I ain't hungry. Y'all find when you cook, you just don't get as hungry.
You sample too much.
Well, I didn't sample that much, but I guess you just smell it, and your body thinks you're eating it, and it don't know the difference. But
now, that don't work for me.
But I'm going to have me a bowl of it, and it's dark here. We're ready to go to bed in a few minutes, or we go to bed early. And I'll have it tomorrow for lunch, though, and supper. And maybe the next day I'll have it for one meal or something. And then maybe skip a day and have it the next. It'll keep. And if we get to day 2 or 3 and we think we're going to eat it all, we'll put it in the freezer and freeze it. And we'll pull it out on one cold evening we don't want to cook. We'll already have soup ready, won't Mama?
Yeah.
So that's all we're up to tonight, Mama.
If you put much more in that kettle, it's going to run over. That's the biggest kettle.
It's a big old kettle.
You got to get 2 gallons of soup there.
Big old kettle of soup, and look at that. That's chunk full of goodness, if I ever seen goodness. I'm excited. I think I'm more excited because fall's here for me. Y'all may have to wait a week or 2 to get yours, but I'm going to go ahead and claim mine right now. So, Mama, say good night.
Good night, Mama, and God bless you and all.
Y'all find you something good to eat, make you some memories. Y'all stay safe out there, and continue to pray for all the folks that have been ravaged by these storms and all the people facing COVID. Just send up prayers and love for all of them. Continue to remember Mama Sue. I texted her today. She said she was feeling better. She had some fluids yesterday, so just keep on praying in her direction and keep on sending those positive thoughts for her. And she truly is salt and light, as she says. She's a wonderful lady, and let's lift her up in prayer and keep her supported with our prayers.
That's right.
So we're going to go for now, and y'all have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.